Well, it's August 22nd, and normally I would not even think about chili in August. You know, that's just something that you crave during the fall months and the winter months. But this is a YouTube channel, and we try to plan ahead a little bit. So we're doing this so you'll have some ideas going into the fall, which is not that far off. It's actually cooling down in a lot of places, but Mississippi is not one of them. And we're going to get started here in just a moment. But first, I want to mention Mahi Leather that sent me this really cool apron. And also they sent me a knife roll that I'm going to show you here momentarily. All right, so this is the all leather, and by the way, this leather is a byproduct from farming. No animals were killed just for their leather. So anyway, very nice knife roll. This knife is too long, as you can see, to fit into these slots. But there's the rest of my collection. Looks like I need a couple more knives here. I got my sharpener, my Lansky, got my knives in here. This is perfect. If you only knew the way I've been keeping these knives stored, you would cringe. So this is very welcomed. That way everything's protected. They're not hitting each other, they're not nicking the blades. And by the way, they're all razor sharp. I do keep my knives razor sharp. Also want to give a big shout out to John Lebzettler. He is up around Pennsylvania area, and he's been a follower of mine for a long time. I just want to shout him out. Thank you, I appreciate you hanging with me this long. There you go. We're going to jump right into this cook and show you how I'm going to do this. And I've got my setup right here. And what I'm going to do is turn my gas on. There we go. Gonna remove this lid. All right, so I'm gonna go in with a little bit of bacon grease. Get this started. You know good and well, when anything starts with bacon grease, it's gotta be good. Maybe a little bit more. All right, our bacon grease is just about melted, so into that, I'm going in with 2 onions that I chopped up. I better rephrase that before my wife comments. Actually, she chopped them up. So you can use any kind of meat on this. You can use beef, you can use venison, you can use moose. I'm using antelope. This is actually given to Derek by your neighbor, right? So I can't remember ever having antelope, to be honest with you. So we're gonna open that up. I've got 4 pounds of this going in. We're gonna work it 1 pound at a time. Go ahead and get us another pound in. That looks just like venison, don't it? It is. Did he,
that's got bacon.
You know, that looks like them bags that you order and put your own meat. Did he hunt this, or?
Yeah, buddy here's out of Carolina.
Oh, okay. Buddy out of Carolina. Is what?
Got bacon chunks off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So that ought to kick up the,
oh, yeah, no doubt. Add a little, little smokiness to the chili, for sure. That's one reason I went with the bacon grease other than like an oil. Just add that little hint of smoke in there. All right, we got 2 more of these to add. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add this meat in. We're gonna get it brown. I'll bring you back. Now I've got 10 cloves of garlic going into this. Gotta have your garlic. That's 10 cloves that's been minced up. And there again, my wife helped me out with that. She gets mad if I don't mention that. All right, so we're just gonna let that go for about another minute, and then I'm gonna add some more ingredients. All right, so we got the perfect simmer on this. So this is how you start a good chili off. You start with your fat, which in this case is bacon grease, and I'm using the ground, what is it, antelope? And like I said, you can use deer meat, you can use whatever you want to use, and you can also cut this up into like stew meat to where it's bigger pieces instead of this. My mom made chili all my life and she always used ground beef. Now I make chili, normally I do use like a stew meat. So anyway, from here what you want to do is add in some water. I'm going to start off with about 2 cups. Just work that in. And I can see already that's not near enough. So let's go in with a little bit more. And the rest of it, that's a total of 4 cups. Now in addition to that, you want to use a Mexican beer of your choice. I'm using the Corona Extra. So that's a total of 24 ounces, 2 12-ounce beers going in. Got to have beer and chili. It's not the same without it. But if you don't like cooking with beer, then by all means omit it. I'm gonna go ahead and get this up to a simmer, and while I'm doing it, I'm gonna be adding different seasonings, and I'll show you every step of the way. We are simmering. That didn't take long. I'm gonna go in with just 1.5 tablespoons of just plain old regular chili powder. And so you know, chili powder like you buy in your supermarkets, like that one right there, it's actually ground up peppers of many varieties. They don't really tell you what, but it is Mexican chili pepper. So we got that going in. All right, now I've got a tablespoon of chipotle chili powder going in, and that is a smoked jalapeno. If you don't know what a chipotle is, it's actually a smoked jalapeno, which is going to add a little bit of smoky flavor to this as well, along with that bacon adding a little bit of smoky flavor. I didn't have quite a tablespoon, so let's go in with a little bit more. All right, we're going to call that good. All right, going in with 1 teaspoon of cumin. Let's give that a mix. All right, now this might sound a little odd to some people, but I'm actually going in there with 2 tablespoons of cocoa. And I promise you it works. And it's actually not uncommon to see in a lot of chili recipes. So it's quite a bit of meat. We've got a lot of other things going in here. So I'm going in with 2 tablespoons of kosher salt. And of course we will taste at the end to see if we need to add more. That usually is perfect. This is not identical to my chili that I normally make, because there is some changes I'm making, but that part remains the same. Now I need to add in 2 bay leaves, and I've got a bay leaf tree right here. And so you know, we do not spray these with pesticides or anything, so they are good just like they are. Drop in our bay leaf. Yesterday I took and I bought some hatch chilies, found them locally. Hatch chilies out of New Mexico are available in July and August here, and they go real quick, but I was lucky enough to get some to at least do this recipe and enough to make another recipe. Let me show you real quick. I roasted these yesterday on my Santa Maria and put them in a Ziploc bag to steam them to where the skin will come off easily, removed all the skin, vacuum packed them into this. Now this one right here is going to be for another recipe. My wife is currently in there chopping up the other bag, and I'll bring you back here in just a minute, just as soon as she gets that done, and they're going in this pot. All right, so we got the hatch chilies ready, and this is probably about 6 hatch chilies that she just chopped up, and they do smell incredible. It's going to add a lot to this chili. All right, so I had to cut these up, and what I've got is I got a whole can of these chipotle peppers in the adobo sauce. I think, what are those, about 8 ounces, something like that, the little small can going in. I've got the chipotle chili powder, so I figure the chipotles is going to just enhance that, plus adobo sauce is just amazing and delicious. It's gonna bring more rich color into this. All right, put our lid on, be right back. By the way, it is hot as heck out here. Like I said, it's in August, and if you noticed, I took the apron off. I don't want to sweat all over that apron. All right, so let's go ahead and put our next ingredient. But I promise you, I assure you, this is going to be something really good come wintertime. All right, and with 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes. Stir those in. Now I've got 15 ounces of tomato sauce. There we go. So this is going to wrap us up as far as the spices go. I'm going to put in about a half a teaspoon of oregano. You can use a Mexican oregano, that would be even better. Just a few dashes of some paprika. Few dashes of some sage. That should be plenty. All right, we got this burner adjusted for the perfect simmer. I'm gonna put the lid back on. We're gonna let this go for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. Normally you would go that long to break down the meat and make it tender. This is ground meat. It's not gonna take that long, but we're gonna go probably a good hour and a half anyway. We'll be back. I've been simmering right at an hour and a half, and like I said, this is ground meat, so it don't take much to get it tender. It's kind of already tender. So, but I want everything else just to cook in, the tomatoes to break down, everything just to break down really good to kind of infuse that flavor all throughout this chili. Now, the last thing I'm doing, and before I add it, I want to say this. This is not a Texas chili. It will have beans in it. That's the way we make chili here in Mississippi. The way I was raised eating it. It's a filler. It's good. That's what we're doing. Hang on. I'm using the light red kidney beans. These are 15-ounce cans. I got 3 cans of that going in first. There's 1, 2. Go ahead and throw your juice and everything in there. Here's the 3rd can. All right, now in addition to that, I found these beans yesterday, and I don't know if you'll be able to find them, but these are jalapeno and bacon pinto beans, and they smell great right out of the can. So we're putting those in as well with the juice. They got peppers and onions and stuff already in them as well. So we're just gonna mix all that in good. Get this back to a simmer. I've got one more ingredient to add, and then we're just gonna let this simmer a little bit with the lid off to kind of thicken up and reduce. Be right back. All right, we are starting to come back to a simmer. This is the final ingredient. This is a harina masa. It's more of a corn flour, and it's gonna add a distinctive flavor into this chili, but it's also gonna help thicken it. And like I said earlier, we'll leave the lid off, let it sit here and simmer until we get the thickness we like in addition to this masa. So I'm gonna pretty much just eyeball this. It's probably gonna take around 2 to 3, maybe 4 tablespoons. We'll start with that. We'll mix it in. A little bit more. I like a thick chili. This hole right there. Maybe a touch more. All right, we're gonna hold right there. That should do it. So I'm gonna say about 4, maybe 5 tablespoons. Just judge it, look at it, look at the thickness you want. If it gets too thick, thin it out with some more beer or water. I'm just gonna bring this up to a simmer, let it go just a few minutes, just get it good and hot. Make sure I see it simmering. We're gonna cut it off, put the lid on it. We're gonna give you a taste test here momentarily. I think we're ready. Let's take a look at this. Oh yeah, man, that's just the way I like chili, nice and thick. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's put some of this in a bowl and see what it's all about. All right, so here we go. Wait a minute. Man, this thing is bigger than the bowl. Hang on a second. Woo, get out of there, flies. All right, here we go. That's more like it. All right, I'm gonna top this with a little cheese, a little bit of raw onion. That's the way I like mine. That's looking great. All right, so Derek, you supplied the antelope for this, and I supplied the chili knowledge, I reckon.
Yes, sir, you did.
All right, let's take a bite and see how we did. Now, I like the onions and the cheese on my bite. It's still hot, by the way.
Oh, I bet it is. Mmm.
Mm.
Mmm. That is good.
Mm.
Mmm.
It's just too bad I got sweat running down my arms, and it's not like in the middle of December right now when you could really enjoy this.
No doubt.
Oh my God, that's really got a nice little kick to it too.
That does. That is delicious.
God, that's got a good flavor. Hang on.
Wow. That is good.
And the good thing about chili, it's a lot like gumbo and a lot of things. Once it sits overnight in the fridge or even frozen and thawed back out, then it tastes even better, you know. But that's fantastic.
That is.
But by letting it sit overnight, it really lets all them flavors really come together. And I always tell people that in the gumbo that, you know, if you're gonna make gumbo, do it the day before, let it cool down overnight, then bring it back up. I guarantee you it's better. I can say the same thing about that. And I'll tell you what we're gonna do with all that pot. Here in a few minutes, we're gonna take that pot, put it in the fridge, and bring the temperature down, because I have a chamber vac. It has to be completely room temperature when you do that, or at least cold even, it would be better. And we're gonna break this down in like vacuum sized bags. We're gonna freeze it. And when you thaw this back out, actually you don't thaw it out. You drop the bag into boiling water. It goes about 20 minutes. It thaws it out. It brings it up to temp. It's ready to go. As good as it was the day you made it, or actually better. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm Russ Jones. This is my son Derek Jones. I beat you to it.
You did beat me to it. I just want to say something.
Yeah.
Just eating that right now. I'm already dreaming, y'all. November, sitting around the campfire at the deer camp with the boys. Hunting season's right around the corner. Football season's right around the corner. I'll be showing y'all a lot more of it on the Down South series.
Oh, heck yeah. That'd be killer for that.
Yes,
now give me my bowl of chili back. Till next week. Later.